He should not be sitting in front of a bunker made of rock, throwing rocks at rocks. He had a herd of goats to tend in his village. Or at least he thought he still had a herd of goats. Sometimes the government took your things and gave them to others who needed them more. He didn't need much, but no one needed his goats more than he did. Early's mind and body shifted once more. He wished he had a letter from his wife. That would pass the time. But he was told not to worry. The state would see that he got his letters when he deserved to get them. But how could he not worry? He loved his young wife. She was slight and pretty, and he had heard things about childbirth. It could tear a woman up, and she could bleed to death. Then who would take care of the child? If the child survived, of course. And if the little thing did survive, milk was hard to come by. Not for the generals, but for him and his family it was. If he didn't have his goats and his wife died, he would be screwed. Early picked up another stone. He held it between his fingers, raised his arm, and flung it away. The sound of rock hitting rock echoed back at him. He reached for one more stone, only to pause before he picked it up. Early raised his head and peered into the dark, looking toward the sound that had caught his attention. Fear ran cold up his spine and froze his feet and made his fingers brittle. His big ears grew bigger. There was a scraping sound, and then a cascade of displaced stones. Slowly, he sat up straighter and listened even harder. Someone or something had slipped. But how could that be? Everyone in these mountains took their first steps on stone and walked their journey to the grave on it. Early knew what every footfall sounded like, and out there was someone stepping cautiously, nervously, hoping not to be found out. They were frightened. That was why they slipped. Early raised his eyes heavenward just in case the government was wrong and there was a God. He thought to call out for his comrades, but that would only alert the enemy. That person might cut him down before his cry was heard. It was up to him, Early the goat herder, to protect his country and this border he could not see. He rose, lifting his rifle as he did so. The gun was heavy in his hands. His breath was a white cloud in the freezing air. Above him the moon shined bright, and still he could not see clearly. He narrowed his eyes, looking to see who or what was coming his way. He comforted himself with the thought that it might be a wandering goat, or a dog, or a sheep, but he knew that could not be right. The hour was too late, and livestock would not be out. Also, animals were more sure-footed than humans. Early swallowed, and his narrow chest shuddered with the beating of his heart. "Who is there?" he called out, all the while wishing he were in bed with his pregnant wife, the fire still hot in the hearth, the goats bedded down for the night. "Who is there? Show yourself." He raised his rifle. The butt rested against his shoulder. One hand was placed just as he had been shown so that his finger could squeeze the trigger and kill whoever dared approach. His other hand was on the smooth wood of the stock. He saw the world only through the rifle sight, a pinpoint of reality that showed him nothing. The sound came again, this time from his right. He swung his weapon. There was sweat on his brow and on his body that was covered by the coarse wool of his uniform. His fingers twitched, yet there was nothing but the mountain in the little circle through which he looked. Sure he now heard the sound coming from the left. Early swung the rifle that way, only to snap it right again, because